Hi guys, this is Zilla, and today we're going to actually do an artillery replay. This is the British FV 3805. This was designed originally in 1947, and it continued to be played with and developed all the way up until, I don't know, 1960s or something. It was never actually built, never actually saw service. The idea behind self-propelled artillery had been around since the invention of the internal combustion engine, actually. It was in World War One. The problem is, on a gun like this, on a tank or on a field mount, would weigh between 5 to, anywhere up to 10 tons. Not to mention the ammunition that had to be carried for it and whatnot. And that's asking an awful lot of horses to pull a gun that size around with it. Even the 75 millimeter famous French World War I 75 millimeter gun weighed a good deal, and it was difficult, for the animals to pull these things along. It was slow, it was ponderous, and we're not talking about flat paved ground. We're talking about muddy trails and snow and rain and uphill and down dale, and it was just very difficult to maneuver. Artillery was very slow to move around. So the idea of putting these things on trucks and lorries and things like that and trains, that just kind of spontaneously came about in World War One. Pretty much everybody did it at one point or another. It wasn't as prevalent. Then in World War II, but prior to World War II, the United States and Germany took the lead in this area, and they decided that it would be a good idea to have mobile artillery. And the United States ended up with the M7 Priest, and the Germans just took any obsolete chassis they could get a hold of and stuck a gun on it. Basically, that's what they did, to provide mobility. So that's where the concept came from, and then it developed from there. At the time this was being developed, other countries were also doing the same thing. The Russians were doing it as well, but they were late into it because the Russians' god of war was artillery. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about this. Where I have this right now, it's not fully developed. I don't have the big gun for it. I'm still far away from that. So what I'm running is the 6-inch gun. Still, a 6-inch shell landing on top of your tank, not a good experience. So we're going to take this into battle, and we're going to see how things develop there and show you a little bit about how artillery plays. Okay, all right, we got into the highway map. This is actually the Midwestern United States, or the Russian interpretation of the Midwestern United States. And this is a fairly good map for artillery, actually, because there's lots of open spaces. Down here, you have the town. That is going to be fought over by heavy tanks. This road, the highway that runs down the middle, generally that spot right over there is fought over by tank destroyers, light and medium tanks. You'll get scout tanks going down in here. So as an artillery, you've got all of this to target and hit. All right, so it's a good map for artillery on either side, whether you're on the southern side or the northern side of the map. So we're going to see what we can do, and we're going to go park this in a bush. We will camp bush and be very good at camping bush. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break the fence this way to make the enemy artillery looking for me, because they will be counter battery. I think that I went over there, and I'm going to go over here and hit the border of the map. And I will camp bush. I will be best bush camper. I'm going to hit the shift key and go into artillery mode. Yay! And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to poke my reticle over here, because odds are first things are going to get spotted are going to get spotted over here. And as an artillery player, sometimes you can see how the battle develops, and you'll really learn how to play your tank's artillery safe. You know, this is tier 9 artillery, so most of the tanks at this level should know how to avoid getting nailed by artillery. Scorpion, very, very vulnerable. Somewhat mobile. I know he's back there. I know he has a job to do, and that is to poke out and see what he can see. He may or may not be there. If I take the shot, I waste the shot, and maybe something else pops up that I can hit. So, sometimes, if a tank's hiding behind a building like this, what I'll do is I'll pop around over there and kind of spook them into moving. But there's nothing, we don't have anything in position to hit it. So there's no point in me doing that. So let me see if I can counter battery a little bit. I'm going to go back here. I know where their artillery is, because I play artillery. So I know where their artillery is most likely to be. There's a round. You see that? He's over here somewhere. He's in these bushes somewhere. And again, you know, you don't want to spend too much time because you got things to do. You know, I've got this big blob of heavy tanks down here. I want to try and help my team out. So I'm going to go over here and look at this. Not a lot of shots in the town because buildings getting away and stuff like that. But look at this. Look at this. These guys. Look at them. They think they're safe. Wrong-o! Boom! I hit 2 of them. One you didn't see, but I hit 2 of them. So, and you just watch the battle develop. You know, he continues to think he's safe there. Now, it used to be artillery could one-shot almost anything. Okay, nowadays not so much. They've nerfed it to the point where it stuns, it breaks modules and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily kill things outright. So I tracked him, stunned his crew, broke a module. You know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide support for our tanks down here. And if you look at that Object 416 on the left-hand side of the minimap, he's doing some pretty good stuff over there. Yeah. Yes, he is. Boom. 3 for the price of 1. And basically that's what you do with artillery now. Is you peek and you peck and you peck and you peck and you peck and you knock out, knock out, knock out to the point where their team is so much less effective than yours. You're trying to be support. You're trying to support your team as best you can. So, you know, the days of my T-92 dropping a 9-inch round on top of somebody's head and just one-shotting them, that's probably not going to happen anymore. But we have lost the town. We have lost the town. And it's time for me to move. That's why you're self-propelled artillery. Don't sit in one spot. If you see the town collapse over there, it's time to bugger out. There's way too much coming down that road. And this is where that scout tank's going to be dangerous. And that's that. Okay. Well, this game's pretty much over, as you can see from the scorecard. 13-2. Wow. Yeah, that game's over. But anyway, that's artillery, and you really are at the mercy of your team. You try to support them as best you can, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work so good, like it was in this case. But let's see what we did anyway. We hit four tanks. We caused critical damage. Tracks, track, and we did some damage. So in any case, we made 19,800 credits and got 200 experience. Would have got more if we had won. Yeah. They just dominated all the way around. Good on them. They did a good job. Okay, we didn't do such a good job. So that is artillery. You either win or you don't. And in that case, we didn't. This is British artillery is pretty fun, especially when you get to Bert the Avenger, and it goes up from there. But artillery is a unique play style. I highly suggest that those of you who are complaining about sky cancer and how bad it is for the game, that you play it and find out for yourself that honestly, you're pretty much at the mercy of how good your team is. So until next time, you guys be good to each other and have a wonderful day. Bye.